So you have been in the automotive industry for a good chunk of time, and one particular business.
Yeah.
It's late in the day. We've been doing this long.
I know.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Chicks in Charge. And we are live at Women in Automotive. We're not live, we're actually recording this, but we are here live at Women in Automotive in Colorado Springs at the Cheyenne Mountain Resort. And we are so thankful to have Carla, and I'm going to really try hard to mispronounce her,
Cosenzi. Yeah, you did great.
Carla Cosenzi on the show with us today. Carla, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you, guys. First of all, this is awesome. I'm honored to be able to be on this podcast. So thank you so much. And thanks for doing this.
You are so welcome. We're excited to have you.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. And this conference has been inspirational, motivating. I've met so many amazing women. So yeah, it's been great.
Good. And this is your first conference, or Women in Automotive Conference.
This is my first Women in Automotive Conference, but I will definitely be back. It will not be my last.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that. What were your expectations going into it?
You know, I expected to, network a lot, and I expected to hear some great speakers, but this completely exceeded my expectations. I, have met so many amazing people. I've been so inspired by all the different speakers that we've heard. I've learned so much in such a short amount of time. I would encourage anybody who hasn't come to really come and check it out.
This conference this year is one of a kind. So you have been in the automotive industry for a good chunk of time, and one particular business.
Yeah.
It's late in the day. We've been doing this long.
I know.
So what have you been doing for the last 20 plus years, and what are you doing now?
Okay, so I originally had no intention of getting into this business. Went to none. But I grew up completely immersed in it, had no intention, went to school for clinical psychology, got my master's at Columbia for clinical psychology. My dad had wanted to pursue a PhD, and my dad, in between my application period, was like, "Hey, can you just come home and help me with some stuff?" I don't even think there were websites he didn't have a website at that time. They were just kind of coming out in the industry, and can you help me? And I think he kind of knew what he was doing, but he had a way of making it seem like it was my idea and guilting me into it. So I came home and I helped him, and kind of found my path through this journey of selling cars. I started selling cars for one of the managers who kind of took me under his wing as a mentor, and I absolutely fell in love with selling cars. And I thought, and I was right, that I could change the car buying experience for not only men, but for women. It was so transactional, and I was able to make it more of an experience. And I noticed that it started to change the entire culture of our dealer group, and I became obsessed with it. So, and the rest is pretty much history. I went to NADA Dealer Academy, went on to be a general manager for one of my dad's stores. And then fate completely changed my entire trajectory. And my dad was diagnosed with a stage 4 glioblastoma brain tumor. And they gave him less than 6 months to live. He ended up living 2.5 years.
Wow.
But we didn't have a successorship plan. We didn't have an estate plan. And I always talk about the word fate, because if I hadn't come home and helped him with those, little projects that he asked me to, then we wouldn't have a dealer group at this point. So it's just kind of funny how that works and everything happens. So fast forward, he sold a bunch of his stores. He passed away, continued on with the 3 stores that he ended up leaving behind. I ran those, and now I've grown them. And now we have 5 franchises, a body shop, and a towing company.
Wow.
So and almost 200 employees.
So we're going to get off the screen now, because she's the real chick in charge.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Like, you look very young.
Oh,
very young.
thank you.
How old you are,
Thank you. Should I be sharing that, or is that something we don't share? My mom will kill me for saying it out loud.
You don't have to. That's okay. But I'm just impressed. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I walked into the business at, 22 or 23 years old. And there were no women. It was completely male dominated, and there were no women salespeople, no advisors, no managers, nothing. So it really took a lot of work to break through that. And I'm so proud to say now that we're 43% female in our business. And not only that, but more than half of them are in non-traditional roles. Service advisors, service managers, service technicians, body shop technicians, parts managers, finance managers, general sales managers. I mean, it is just so exciting to see the change that can be made when you completely defy the odds of what everyone thinks of the auto industry. And the auto industry is amazing for women. We can make so much money, which is another reason I fell in love with it. There's so much opportunity for women in the industry that people don't see and notice.
So based on what you had just said, so what are you doing within the store and the stores and group to hire and retain women? Because that's one of the biggest problems that the industry is having is the low retention rate of women. How are you getting them to stay? Is it, more interpersonal? I know you have a psychological background.
Well, studies show that when women see a woman in a leadership role, they're more likely to feel comfortable coming into it because they can see the future of their own career path. So I think just me being present, not only being the owner, but also being a leader there and being so involved makes a huge difference for the women of our company. Plus, we support them. We support International Women's Day. We are at networking events where all of our we hosted a Women in Business event at our dealership and invited all the women. We do different types of pop-up shops to support local small businesses and let them network and market for them and help expose them and mentor young women who are trying to get into business, whether it's automotive or starting their own business, just to give them the exposure and the network that they need to be successful. So we're constantly trying to find new ideas to support women. We go to tech schools and we put out a lot on our social media and our marketing message showing that this is an industry that supports women, that you can come here, that we do have women here and they feel comfortable here and they're thriving here and we're giving them the support that they need to be successful here.
You're so intentional about it. That's I think the biggest takeaway is that the dealerships have to be intentional with it in order to get to that point where you go from 0 to 43% women staff.
Well, I'm so glad that you said that word because that's one of my favorite words in the business. I'm sure my marketing directors look at me like we're so sick of hearing the word intentional, but everything we do is with intention at this point. So how I manage my time, how we market, how we market to our consumers. More than half of the people who are buying cars and making decisions on buying and servicing cars are women, but we don't have the right staff to support and relate to those women when they're coming in. And we wanted to change that, and we are changing that, and we want to help other people learn to change that.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. So I know this is your first Women in Automotive Conference. Had you previously heard of the organization in the past or no?
Last year was the first time I had heard of it.
Okay.
Wanted to come and had a conflict. And so very excited that I was able to make it this year.
I think it's really neat that without knowing that Women in Automotive was even a thing.
Yeah.
You did all of this at your store.
Yeah.
Completely on your own.
So how could we not be here to be able to, first of all, share that and then network with all of the other women who are paving a path and making a difference and supporting each other. And really, I think that's my biggest takeaway. I mean, what helped me when I first got involved is I had mentors. They weren't all female. They were male, female, in the industry and outside the industry. But those networks are the people that held me accountable and gave me the confidence that I needed to come in and lead and succeed after my father had passed.
So how did you hear about Women in Automotive? I know you just heard about it last year, had the scheduling conflict, but how did you come across?
My marketing director, Kayla, who I have to give a shout out to because I would never be who I am or where I am without her. She's been with me for 10 years. She is the most amazing woman. She also does a great job balancing being a mom and work and balances my life for me and is my sounding board. And I'm so appreciative of her. And it's the women like her who really are making the difference for other people. And so, Kayla, I love you. Thank you.
That's awesome. And thank you to you for introducing her because I think her story and what she's doing needs to be heard by so many people. I mean, there's not a lot of dealers out there that are doing this stuff. And that's the whole purpose of everything that we are all doing here is to all work together, band together to get more women to come and stay in the automotive industry because my God, this tribe is amazing. Like
it is amazing.
Our last guest just kept using the word tribe, and that's 1000% what this is. And it is an unbelievable network of amazing humans.
She said, you come here and you might not even know what a tribe is. You leave here and you leave with a tribe of 250 to 300 women that were all at this conference.
Yeah.
It is so powerful. People don't realize how powerful it is. It is so powerful. And it's so moving and motivational for, I think, all of us here.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think is one piece of advice that you could give anybody in the industry that was walking into the industry today, male, female, young or old? What would you tell them?
So I love, like I said, that you used the word intentional. I am very intentional with all of my actions. And I think that that is really, really important, especially in such a fast-paced, ever-evolving industry like we have.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you do should be with intention and should be really thought out.
That's a good answer. That's probably the first one today we've had like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you.
No, it is a good thing. That's different than what we've heard today.
Well,
and I love that. And its intention is something that Robin, who's our CEO, she preaches to us all the time too, is you have to be intentional with everything that you're doing.
Yeah. And, somebody had asked me in my session, how do you manage, being a mom and in such a business with such long hours? And my answer again was intention. When I'm at work, I'm there to do what I need to do. And I schedule my time to make sure that I'm available for the people who need me. And I'm doing the things that help continue to make the business thrive. But when I'm home, I'm intentional in my time with my children. I schedule that. I mean, it's scheduled in my calendar. I schedule my time and I'm very intentional in the time that I set aside for them. So although they might not see me as much as some of the other kids' parents might see their parents or whatnot, my time with them is such good quality time. And I'm so appreciative of that.
That's amazing. So I'm a mom too of 3 little girls. So I know
3 girls. Oh,
yes,
my daughter's 10 and
I have a 10, a 7, and a 5-year-old. So
it's
a lot.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave you with this. I was sharing in my session that my daughter's 10, and if you ask her what she wants to be when she gets older, she wants to be a car dealer. And I just think that that's so amazing that at the young age of 10 years old, she already has an aspiration to be in the car business. When I was at 10 years old, there weren't a lot of examples of women in that position. So I would have never thought to say I wanted to be a car dealer.
Have you met Jenna Smith?
No.
With Revved Up Solutions.
No.
She has the only one that I know of, automotive summer camp. It's called Full Tank, and it's for kids that are just out of 8th grade.
You're kidding me.
Send them to Northwood University for 5 days to live on campus and learn about the automotive industry. And it's the neatest thing ever. I think she said this year it was like $500 for the 5 days, and then it's going up a little bit next year. But their camp,
but all their food, everything's covered,
I believe is what she said.
That's amazing.
Covered. It's the best thing I've heard of in a long time.
And I agree with you.
I can guarantee you, if my daughters have any desire to be in the automotive industry, I will.
That's where they're going, investing that. Yeah,
just to see if it's something that they truly want to do, and if they don't, fine, they don't have to. But I just think it was brilliant.
Well, any exposure is good exposure, right? So if they do it and they learn about it, and it's still not for them, that's okay. At least they learned something new and they experienced something new, and that's amazing. I'm glad you just see how much we learn from each other.
So the reason why they're doing this is because so many people look at the automotive industry and think, oh, I've got to turn a wrench, or I've got to sell a car, or I've got to do this, or I've got to do that. How many other positions are in the automotive industry that exist?
5 businesses under one rooftop.
Yeah, that's what they're teaching these kids is you don't have to just be one thing. You don't just have to go sell cars to work at a dealership. Mm-hmm. There's so many different opportunities in the automotive industry. And that's what they're really teaching these kids. And I thought that was really neat.
Yeah. And I love that.
And what we're all here for is to help the generation behind us raise up and be better than what we have been thus far.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself.
So, Carla, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. This is amazing.
You have been wonderful. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your day again. Everybody, this is Carla, and she's just been enough. And I'm speechless, literally speechless right now. So
thank you guys for doing this.
In a world where you can be anything, remember to be kind, because you don't know what somebody else is going through. So whenever you go out into the world this week, remember to light it up. I'm Jess.
I'm Shasta.
And this is Carla, and we've been the Chicks in Charge. Thanks for watching. Yay, you've made it this far. And if you want to help the chicks out and add some value, make sure you subscribe right now.
Click that little red button down below. Do it. Do it now.